the guys have come through a tough week of games, and they're playing against a team that's had a fresh week on the back of some good results and confidence. And we stood up to that and were strong and aggressive and seen it through right at the end. So we're very proud of them for that, but we will always look to improve our own performance level.
Now we played Leicester 2 times, and 3 of their goals they put it to the top corner with worldies. So any team that want to win a game would need a little bit of margins not to go their way in that. That said, I think Leicester were the better side first half. We definitely were the best side in second half, and I think we, on a day where it's maybe dropped a little bit more for us, we could easily have got a point from this game.
I always say whenever I score a free kick, it's really satisfying to see them go in, just because over the years I've practiced so much, from the little boy from Coventry who was watching David Beckham on YouTube to putting them in the Premier League. It's nice and reminds you that you've almost come a long way,
But was it the best goal that we saw today? That's the question.
I don't actually think so. It's devastating, but I'll let Timmy Castagno have that one because he doesn't score many like that. I think he probably, when he done his interview, he probably told everyone I do that in training all the time, but he doesn't.
They were great goals that Leicester scored. I suppose Thomas Frank is right. There were 2 worldies today, and yet Brentford played into Leicester's hands a little bit in that first half.
Well, it was another game that was really done and dusted by half-time. If you start badly in the Premier League, you get done. Dewsbury Hall and Maddison were terrific. Leicester, lots of positives for Leicester, but Brentford's tactical setup was bizarre, to say the least. They started in a really low block, which is fine, but you've got to press the ball at some point. Mendy is at all the time in the world to slip it through. Whole midfield's done. Dewsbury Hall, look how much space he's got. This is early in the game. Too passive, too lethargic. Little warning shot from Maddison, and it stayed like this for 20, 25 minutes. Again, look, Mendy, you can't have that much space. You're near the final third of the pitch. You've got to get some pressure on the ball. There's the good positions Maddison and Dewsbury all took up. Nice, confident players who want the ball in those dangerous areas, and Barnes out wide. But look at the time. Again, no pressure on the ball. Castagne's got time to get it out of his feet and pick his spot. So they're a goal down, and Leicester haven't really had to do too much. Then they started trying to press, but not together. Look at the gaps from the back 4 to the midfield. There's Maddison, Dewsbury Hall and Barnes again. That space is ridiculous. I mean, Leicester could have had the game sewn up by half-time with the amount of times they got into these dangerous areas. Final ball, not quite there sometimes. Barnes that time just missing out. And again, look, one pass. That's not pressing together. There's no communication. For the first half of the first half, they were dropping off. Then they were pressing, not together. They didn't seem to know what to do. And as I said, the game was more or less done. Yes, they were quality finishes, but the way Brentford played in the first half, it was passive, it was lethargic. It was like a team who think they've already stayed up, and they haven't. They're still in a fight. And yes, second half, they did better, but when you're 2-0 down, it's easier to play. It's
been a very up and down season for Leicester. Yeah, we know they've had lots of injuries. But you see them in spells in that game. The pieces are there, aren't they?
Definitely, I think that they've obviously missed Vardy, Fofana and Evans, big players for them. I think that you've got Dewsbury Hall, Maddison and Barnes, where, especially next season, going into next season, you're looking at them and saying, well, however they perform might determine how Leicester go, through the season, because they have 3 bright young stars that now need to, they've had a bit of experience now and they need to start showing it more consistently.
Now, with my positive, happy disposition, I always want to celebrate the skill and the creative genius of players. You, on the other hand, being a little bit grumpy, are not going to look at Maddison, but are going to look at the wall.
I am indeed. Look, it is a brilliant goal, and he's got great technique. I'm a big fan of Maddison because look at the wall not jumping here. If it jumps, I think they stop it. Now, why aren't they jumping together? Why is one player jumping and the other's not? Is it lack of preparation, lack of communication? When I played, especially in my later years, it was my responsibility at Fulham to decide whether we were going to jump or not based on the distance and based on whoever was taking it. We see a lot of players now have
the draft excluder thing, yeah.
But I've never seen Maddison go under the wall. So why is one player jumping and the other's not? Bad preparation, bad communication could have been avoided.
And also, particularly, when you've got...
There you go.
I'm really glad the graphics department put the arrows on there to show me which way they should be jumping. But they didn't drill down into the turf. You've got big centre halves there as well.
Yep.
So, I mean, the extra height comes from there.
Yeah, and that maybe stops a goal. And Dan's right. It's about the preparation and knowing who's taking it and then feeling it on the pitch. Even if you've been told, sometimes you get told, don't jump, we don't jump. You know, we're a team that set the wall and don't jump. But if I'm in the wall and I'm seeing it's Maddison and the way he's run up to it and shaped, you know he's going over the wall. Let's jump, let's make ourselves as big as possible and try and block it.
Right, 2 other Premier League games.